So yeah, you can start whenever you want. Hopefully they come out of the line pretty soon.
Please rise to the honorable judge.
This court is now in session. You may be seated. May Donna Osborn promote?
Where's the name? Jack.
Oh,
Jack
that's
is-
right. Jack, please.
These are signature for two.
Defense will go first. Again, questioning for 7 minutes. Defense, whenever you're ready.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Could you describe what Mrs. Osborne told you?
Well, we were talking over the phone like around February 12th, saying that she opened up to me saying that her husband was physically abusing her. She couldn't like handle it more, like she had to do something.
What do you tell her in response to that?
I told her that she has to stand up for herself and her son.
Okay. Do you know what she meant by saying that she had to do something?
No,
Did she ever tell you like what kind of abuse happened in her home?
she was saying that she was getting physically abused.
Were there any signs of that being true?
I couldn't tell.
Did she ever stop coming to work?
Yes.
Did you give a reason to why she stopped coming?
No.
When you told us to stand up for herself, that she had to stand up for herself, what do you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
You didn't have any idea what she meant by that?
I had no idea what she meant.
Prosecution. No. One. None? No. Okay.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I just want to say, you and Mr. Osborne met back in January 1991, right?
Yes.
Was there any physical abuse? I mean, there was no evidence of physical abuse.
I couldn't tell. She had it covered, so I'm guessing she had it covered.
So how did you meet Mrs. Osborne?
Well, she was like a new teacher at the university that we taught, so I was told to help her get situated in the school.
Is it true that you met Mrs. Osborne during class breaks before?
Yes.
What did you guys discuss about?
We talked about personal lives.
And what did she say about her personal life?
She was saying that she was so isolated.
Can you describe it in your own, elaborate in
She felt like isolated at home and then like her job probably helped her and everything.
You said that, I remember yesterday you said they didn't have any social life, but she would talk to you as a friend, right?
Yes.
No further questions.
Would you say that Mrs. Osborne was your friend?
Yes.
Do you feel that she was sad, or she was afraid of losing the relationship with you when her husband didn't allow her to go to work anymore?
I don't know.
You don't know? Would you say that she valued you as a friend?
I have no.
Did Mrs. Osborne only talk to you as a friend?
Yes.
She didn't interact with other teachers in the same manner as she did with you?
No.
Were you an emotional support to Mrs. Osborne?
Yes.
Did you ever encourage Mrs. Osborne to leave her house or to ever do something extreme?
No.
What sort of conversations happened when you were her emotional support apart from the physical abuse?
We were just talking about like a personal life, how me and her are going through the same thing. I'm going through a difficult situation for my husband, so like I have emotional support with her. We're going through the same thing.
So, the separation with your husband, did that have anything to do to your responses to Mrs. Osborne? What you told her?
Kind of, yeah, because I know what she's feeling too.
No further questions.
Prosecution.
Where were you the day of the murder?
How was that work?
You were at work. And you said that when you had personal conversations with Miss Osborne, you talked about the abuse, right?
Yes.
And did you ever encourage her to get any help?
I just told her to stand up for herself. I didn't encourage her.
So you didn't try to help her?
There's one point where we had a talk on February 7th, and she left her book, so I called again. And then I heard like a slap, so like I called the police just to check on her and see if she was okay. That's it.
And you said that you never encouraged her to leave the house. No? So she told you about the abuse, but you never told her to leave the house even though she was in danger?
Yes, I just told her to stand up for herself.
No further questions.
Defense.
When you first met Mr. Osborne, he was in a hurry, correct?
Yes.
Do you see anything suspicious about him? Was there any hesitation
No.
when he took Miss Osborne out of the classroom?
He came in quickly, grabbed her on the street, and just left.
And that phone call, did he say anything?
Well, I heard him say, "Oh, did you miss her already?"
Do you think that was a threat?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
When I had called her and I heard him say, "Did you miss her already?"
Did you what?
Miss her already.
Miss her?
Thank you.
No, I didn't feel it.
And then the phone call went silent afterwards?
Yes.
Do you feel like she was spending like more than usual?
I called 911 after. Second.
You could be quiet.
You did meet Mr. Osborne personally?
Just
Only one time?
yes.
Did Did she tell you, like, how the relationship started with Mr. Osborne?
No.
No? Okay, that's all. Good morning. This is Matthews. Okay, could you elaborate more on the phone call that you had with, was it Mrs. Osborne or Mr. Osborne?
I had a
Just to
conversation with Miss Osborne.
Miss Osborne? Can you tell us the date of this conversation on the phone?
February 7th.
February 7th. Can you elaborate or can you explain to us and the jury what were you guys talking about during the phone call?
Well, I called her to tell her that she had left her books, and she told me not to worry about her. That's all the phone call.
That's all the phone call was?
That's all the phone call was.
Okay, and we also know that February 16th, the police came questioning to your house, correct?
They came to my office.
To your office?
Yes.
But your statement says the house.
Came to my office.
To your office? Okay. Could you elaborate on what the police questioned you on?
They just they told me to come make a statement saying about what happened with Mr. and Mrs. Osborne.
So just to ensure again, are you sure it was the office, not your house?
It was the office.
It was the office. You do know you're on the oath, right, Miss Matthews?
I remember it as the office.
Mm-hmm. So it's either you're lying or the statement.
Objection. He's badgering the witness. He's threatening her and making me feel.
Your Honor, I'm just asking a simple question.
She's antagonizing her.
Now, Your Honor, she has the right not to answer my question, but it's just a simple question on if she's sure about it.
You can just say yes or no.
It's just yes or no question. I'm not pressuring you, Matthew, but
Overruled.
overruled. Thank you, Your Honor. So you're sure? Not to put you're sure. Okay, thank you. And also, so you said you and Mr. Osborne were dealing personally, right?
I seen him and I didn't talk to him.
You seen him talk to him?
I didn't talk to him at all.
You seen him. Okay. Also, so you and Miss Osborne spend most of the time together, right? In class or after class?
Not. It's like some days we will. So yeah.
So did you ever develop, not to say like this, but maybe a loving relationship with Miss Osborne?
No.
Not at all? So you wouldn't consider yourself, or you wouldn't think of yourself like, oh, maybe I like Miss Osborne? Or any case at all?
No.
Okay. So then also, when Miss Osborne didn't show up, did you ever think of something odd? Did you ever call her? Did you ever go visit her house on February 14th?
No.
So you just covered her.
I
You didn't call her, you didn't go to her house.
No.
No? And when you met, or when you see Mr. Osborne personally, where were you guys at? Or what was the location of your
We were in a classroom.
classroom? Could we just elaborate what were you guys doing in the classroom?
Like I said previously, we're just talking about our personal lives.
Talking about your lives? And you feel like you can relate to Miss Osborne because of what? Can you repeat again?
Of my difficult separation from my husband.
Oh, the separation of your husband. How long has this separation happened?
It's recently.
Recently? And just to elaborate more on Miss Osborne, when you met Miss Osborne, how did, and I know I might be repeating the question, but how did he seem to you? Did he seem like a typical person, or was he had aggression towards Miss Osborne?
He had aggression towards Miss Osborne.
But why would you think that aggression will come out?
I guess like he didn't like her talking to other people.
So other people, you think that?
Mm-hmm.
But
Can you stop talking?
But what do you think that he was also angry because his wife didn't get there home on time?
Well, classes was missed early, so.
So I mean, probably Miss Osborne didn't know that. It just if you think maybe Miss Osborne didn't know that, and that's when he got there. He was just angry because she wasn't home. Maybe he was trying to talk to her or something. Maybe they're trying to put a bill. But do you think that could be a possibility?
No.
No, you don't think that could be a possibility. Miss Osborne would be mad because she wasn't there home early. And log off the question. Oh, tap out.
She was at the office when we went to question. She's at the office and then was question. What is the house? Who wants the house?
Always. I would like to have Jacqueline Matthews removed for perjury. So, together.
You have to go to your seat, please.
I would like to have Jack Matthews called up.
Well, that was Jack.
No, not Jack.
Yeah, that was Jack.
Jury, I would like to address that all her statements were called for. Right? Unreliable.
She lied, bro. If you think about it, it was never the office, it's the house. So it's either she was lying in a statement or a statement was lying. So
No, okay.
you're winning.
I would like to have Donna Osborn called to the stand. Donna Osborn.
Please, what to say nothing. Please make silence. Mata, please.
Silence.
Defense. Yeah.
Donna Osborn, were you married with Clinton Osborn in 1998? Yes or no?
Yes.
1998 or 1982?
1988. It also says that you have been under verbal abuse for years. Can you elaborate? Like, was it mild at first and then it is?
My abusive husband? You want
Yes.
me to speak of my abusive husband? Yes. So, I can't give exact dates of what happened when happened, but I can recall them from a timeline. It started off very faintly because, so we got married, we had our first son, Chip. And I decided, well, we both decided as a marriage that it would be best for me not to work and to take care of our son. And during that, I had noticed that Clinton seemed to be more possessive of me and jealous of people I would hang around with. And it started off slowly where he would keep me home as much as possible and keep me away from everyone else. And then after that, it continued with the insults and then the abuse physically.
Well, if you say so it's true, but that means that Mr. Osborne also wants to control the family money?
Mm-hmm.
When did he start getting physically violent with you?
Honestly, it was an occurrence that happened a lot, so I can't give you an exact date, but it did happen during and after my pregnancy.
He'll give you an estimate within years.
I can't.
According to other witnesses, it says you also had ups and downs, such as after an argument you would make up. Can you elaborate? Well,
I really did love my husband, and I always thought he was a good person. I just thought that the problem was me. I was the one that upset him. So when he would apologize to me, I would accept his apology, and we would make up.
no further questions, John.
Prosecution.
When exactly did the abuse start?
During and after my pregnancy.
During your pregnancy?
I wouldn't want to say exactly the whole thing, but as I was pregnant, I remember that there were certain times where he would insult me, or not exactly beat me, but talk illy of me.
So during the pregnancy, there was never any physical abuse, or?
Not that I remember.
Okay, so when you called the hotline, the Harris said yesterday that you never mentioned your son in any of the phone calls.
No.
Can you please explain why?
I didn't think my son should ever be talked about in any circumstance because I believe that he was my son, so I should be the one taking care of him. He was not being abused by his father. He had a good life, and I did not want to ruin that for him.
If she said that you were fearing for your life, wouldn't it be a mother's instinct to also fear for your child's life?
Yes,
if you
my
were
child's
being
life
with an
was not in
abusive father?
danger. It was mine. So I didn't feel my son needed to be protected because he was protected in that environment. I was not.
Can you please explain the ups and downs that you had in your relationship?
With my husband.
Yes.
So, with my husband, it would always start off with me doing something wrong in his eyes. He would insult me. He would think of everything I did as wrong. He would beat me for not doing something correctly. He didn't think the people I used to hang out with were good people or that I was having affairs because he did not trust anyone. He only wanted me with him.
They said that you were given death threats. Can you please explain when they started? When was the first time he gave you a death threat?
I believe the death threat first appeared when he gave me the roses. They were black roses, and in that.
I object! Okay? Donna deserves to be free,
Please be
okay?
quiet. Please,
No!
please.
She deserves to be free!
Silence!
Free her now!
Silence!
Okay, you said that the death threat was when you were getting the flowers, which that was the day of the murder, correct?
No, it was not.
It was not?
No.
So then what can you please state which date that was?
I'm not for certain, but I believe it was on the 7th. I don't know the month. I think it was the month.
The same month?
No. Yes, I believe it was the
So
7th.
February 7th?
Yes.
So that was still a few days before the killing, and that
Yes.
was when you got a death threat?
Yes. So with that bouquet of black roses, there was a note.
The black roses were found on the scene, the day of the murder.
Because he had given them to me earlier.
he had given them to you earlier. So why were they in the garage?
Because I could have placed them in the garage.
You placed them in the garage?
I could have.
You don't remember?
No.
Okay. So the death threat was already 2 days before, right? So what you had all that time to talk to the police for help because you got death?
It wasn't an exact death threat.
Then why did you say it was?
If I would have called that out, no one would have believed me.
No one
Except me.
Well, you said that you got physically abused, right? Couldn't you show your bruises to the police?
No, because we had gone to the doctor, and the doctor had looked at me. And my husband had said there were injuries I had caused because of my clumsiness. I had agreed out of fear because he was there, and I did not feel like could trust anybody there.
Okay, so even after the death threats, was there more? Or was it
Not
just
that I remember.
So you never even tried to get help after he gave you a death threat? In any way?
Besides talking to the hotline and talking to Jake.
And you didn't accept the help from the hotline even after you got a death threat?
No.
No further.
Mrs. Osborne, how do you feel when you had your job at the college?
I felt free.
How would you say you felt when you were at home?
I felt like a caged animal.
Were you at any time given a chance to leave?
My husband was always around with me and my son, and when he wasn't, his mother was around. I was never actually alone besides work. And even then, I had been pulled out by my husband because of my friendship with Jack.
Jack was a very close friend to you, right?
He was close in the sense that he was the only person I had talked to, and after months of being home with my husband and his family.
How did it start, like him not letting you leave the house?
It started off slowly, but since I had already quit my job to become a mother to my son, he made everything more difficult. For example, shopping. It was very difficult for me to go shopping because of the distance between going and coming. So either he would go with me or his mother would go with me. And then it stopped. I stopped going shopping and he brought groceries.
Was the mother, was she aggressive towards you?
My husband's mother never liked me. She always thought of me as an incapable woman, someone who was not good for her husband.
Well, you said that she truly loved her son.
I believe she does, or did.
So, with that said, you believe that she could have been biased towards him?
I believe that a mother's love for her son should never be questioned because he is her son. So I wouldn't ask for her to take anyone else's side besides his.
You've met Sheriff Powell, right?
Mm-hmm.
You only met him during 2 days, right? Like, 2 days, the day of the murder, and the day he was called to your house.
Mm-hmm.
Did he happen to know Mr. Osborne beforehand?
I do not know. I do know that they had a conversation when he was first called up to my house about the abuse. My husband talked about it and said I had fallen and that those were the cause of my injuries. I only nodded and agreed with my husband.
As you've heard, as you know, the sheriff of Powell failed to mention that there was a bat nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it?
The bat was in the garage.
At the moment of you shooting him, was he reaching for it?
So, but leading to those moments, me and my husband had a heated argument. I had come to the conclusion that I was gonna die that night. That he was gonna kill me. So I took the gun from him. I had the gun. And he knew I had the gun. And he saw it. So he told me that that wasn't how he was gonna kill me. He was gonna use the bat like he had used before. And he went into the garage. I followed him.
The gun that Mr. Osborne had, was it a legal firearm? Or was it obtained by legal methods?
I do not know. It was my husband's gun. I don't know if he had it illegally or legally.
When he mentioned that he was gonna use the bat like he did before, were you referring to the nights where he used it to beat you and hit your ribs?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that the only option for you when you felt like you were gonna die that night was to use self-defense?
Yes, it was either his life or mine and my child.
Excuse me, would you like to get to the point, please?
My point is, do you believe that Mr. Osborne had intention to kill you?
Yes,
That he
I
was.
do.
Do you believe that it was gonna happen that night?
Yes.
No further questioning. You're on.
Okay, when the sheriff went to your household when you slipped, he asked you if.
He didn't ask me. He asked my husband.
Okay, and you agreed. You had the chance to disagree, correct? Your son's
I
life was
have-
never in danger, so you could
But
have
my
disagreed
husband
and
was there,
left,
who was
correct?
abusive husband. Do you think if my abusive husband was
No.
there, I was gonna speak about it?
Okay, but you're also scared for your life and your child's life.
No, not my child, because my husband never laid a hand on my child.
Okay, so you had plenty of chances to leave.
Why would I leave? He was my husband.
You
I
were
loved
in an
him. I
abusive
loved
relationship,
my
correct?
Yes, and I thought that it would get better.
Okay, it did. It could have.
It could have until that
But
night where he threatened me
because
for
you
my
could have
life.
left and not have to get to that extent.
I could have left.
She's clearly
with-
antagonizing the witness. She's telling you that she could have left. She's not asking any questions. She's antagonizing her.
It's a yes or no question.
It's a yes or no.
No, it wasn't a question that you could have left. She's
You could have.
antagonizing
I'm
her.
asking her. You could have. I'm asking. Yes.
And I'm saying no.
She's repeating the same
You
question.
could have, correct? You could have. Yes or no?
Okay.
Okay, what?
I would still like to overrule that.
So, but you were, when the night of the murder happened, do you believe it had to happen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Chip, your son, said that he had offered to go play baseball, correct?
Yes.
So, why did you think it was okay to shoot him?
Because, like I stated earlier, he had threatened me with the baseball bat.
Okay, but right and then in that moment, didn't he offer his son to go play baseball?
Yes, my 3-year-old son who did not know what was going on.
3?
Yes.
3?
No, because in my statement it says my son is 3.
3.
Yes. At the time of the shooting, you can see in my file that my son was 3.
But you think your son did not want to go play baseball?
I believe my son did want to go play baseball.
So if he did want to go play baseball and his father offered for him to go play baseball, why?
I do not know if my husband had ever asked my son if he wanted to go play baseball with him. I was only there for the argument where he had threatened me with the baseball bat and had gone.
He threatened you, but he didn't physically get the bat to hit you.
He never got the bat to hit me.
Yeah, because he was gonna go play baseball with his son.
But we don't know that, do we?
Yeah, we do.
How do we know that? If we're
Because your
just,
son just stated that.
and I just stated that he was gonna go get the bat to hit me with it.
So we don't ever know if he wanted to go play baseball or if he ever wanted to hit me with the
No,
bat.
he did, because he was gonna take your son to go play baseball.
But what I'm saying is,
No further questions.
Excuse me.
Silence.
I would like to read a closing statement from the defense first. Oh, my bad.
Close statement. Alright, jury, ladies and gentlemen, I already see the case involves defense. I continually try to use that Miss Donna was self-defense. That she was a battered woman going through an abusive relationship. But again, if you think about it, she had other outlets to escape. She could have stayed with Mr. Jack. She could have gone to a shelter. She could have left whatever her son, because as she said again, her son wasn't in danger. But no, she chose to kill her husband. Why? Because her husband threatened her. Her husband also threatened her that if he left, she didn't have money. She wasn't going to see her child again. But again, she had the outrage. She didn't have to kill her husband. She could have got a divorce. She could have left again. So nothing, it shouldn't make sense for her to kill her husband when there's so many other outlets. And that's just my closing case. And I believe the jury system, if I repeat again, and I believe that you guys will make the right call, and not make this case go to another pile of cases where the abusive wife wins just by giving the case. That's my closing.
Whenever you're ready. Defense.
Silence.
I want to fire my attorneys. And I want to give my closing statement.
Wait, partner.
You.
Wanna fight?
Yes.
We're fighting. I'm trying to make sure you're fighting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I'll allow it. Excuse me. On the board.
Silence.
So, over the case of my trial, we had gone, if I had murdered my husband over self-defense, or it was just out of anger or murder. I believe my husband was an abusive man who knew how to hide those aspects of him. He was a very wealthy man with a very good business. I was just a teacher, a professor, who had quit her job to raise her son. My attorneys say that I murdered my husband, but I do not believe that. I was in a home where he would beat me constantly. They say I had no way out. And that is what I believe. They say I had all these places where I could have gone to, but truly I had no one. Jack was just a friend I had met a few months ago. He was still someone I did not trust. The family doctor was friends with him. He played golf, and although she said she's unbiased of him, I did not believe that. I did not believe the police because I knew that if I ran away, my my death. Thank you.
Wait, no, let me tell you something. Don't try to. You're not the joker here. Bro, you're fired. You're not fired.
Order. Please be quiet. Please.
Now the jury will.
Wait, we should want to clarify. You said that you didn't kill him or that you did kill him?
Yeah, excuse me. That's it. No more. Now the jury
Alberto.
will. The jury will now reach their decision. Now, this is a break.
Stop, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Excuse me. Jury.
I saw you all that. You know what? Shouldn't the closing statement be for the lead attorney? I'll be the attorney. But she's the head. She can choose. I'll be back. She has a choice.
Or looking at the judge.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
What say you?
We, the jury, on the charge of second-degree murder, find the defendant guilty.
Based on the jury, I will be sentencing Donna Osborn to second-degree murder. Well, imprisonment for life. Is that case closed?